up in tonight's bulletin, Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele clarifies the government's position on the management of the country's Sufferance wharves and Leroy Wharf. The Ministry of Environment calls on lawmakers to strengthen environmental protections in the proposed Mineral Resource Bill 2025. And a new chapter in the spiritual journey of East Central Guadalcanal has begun with the Catholic Church officially launched the Our Lady of Hope parish. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele has clarified the government's position on the management of the country's Sufferance wharves and Leroy Wharf, stressing the importance to the economy, transport system and national security. In his statement, Manele explains that Sufferance wharves operate under the Customs and Excise Act, which provides the legal framework for unloading and loading of goods. Under this act, the controller has the discretion to appoint Sufferance wharves. The suspension of all Sufferance wharves, with the exception of the private Leroy Wharf, by former Minister of Finance Harry Kuma, has drawn criticism from the public. The move has also seen the recent reshuffle of government ministers. Responding to concerns raised by the public regarding his government's reshuffle, Honorable Manele said ministers' reshuffles are part of government's processes. He said while the public statements may vary, government's position remains consistent. Now, the Ministry of Environment has warned that the proposed Mineral Resource Bill 2025 could weaken important environmental protections unless strengthened to safeguard ecosystems and affected communities. Elisa Kukutu reports.
The Ministry of Environment calls on lawmakers to strengthen environmental protections in the proposed Mineral Resource Bill 2025. They warn that current provisions may fall short of safeguarding the country's fragile ecosystems and communities. Appearing before the Bills and Legislation Committee hearing into the Mineral Resource Bill 2025, the ministry raised concerns that exploration, prospecting, and mining, currently classified as prescribed developments under the Environment Act, must continue to undergo environmental assessments and approvals. As the Environment Act is being reviewed, the ministry calls for caution in that the new mining bill must not undermine existing protections but instead enhance them.
We also wish to just point out that exploration, prospecting and mining are deemed as prescribed development and requires approval and development consent through the EIA process under the Environment Act 1998. The bill must ensure that the process on application, technical and scientific reviews, approval, monitoring and enforcement are aligned and not to undermine the objectives on protection, conservation, management and restoration of the environment. The Environment Act 1998 is in progress to be repealed with the intention of strengthening the environment safeguards for prescribed developments, of which mining sector is one. The bill must also recognize the importance of protection and conservation of flora and fauna. The bill should also align to the objectives of considering our islands and communities, the climate vulnerabilities, and disaster risk reduction and preparedness requirements and protocols. Also on Part 3, the mining prohibited areas and mining protected area, the intention, terminology and the rationale for categorizing these types of areas can be misunderstood or misleading. Mining protected areas can be a confusion, assuming that these are protected from mining, and we recommend that these can be stated as areas protected from mining instead.
Other key concerns include the lack of independent monitoring and reporting requirements, limited enforcement capacity, and inadequate financial and technical resources to support environmental oversight.
We also just want to highlight some common issues on limited enforcement capacity, which is linked to financial and human resources to monitor and enforce compliance, weak community engagement, relating to lack of awareness and technical knowledge to participate in consultations and agreements, insufficient financial assurances, but mining companies may fail to provide adequate financial assurance for rehabilitation, also considering the environment that is affected, inadequate technical expertise, as results from lack of access to technical expertise needed to implement best practices.
Eliza Kokutu for SIBC TV.
Now, a new chapter in the spiritual journey of East Central Guadalcanal has begun with the Catholic Church officially launched the Our Lady of Hope parish. Eliza Kokutu with the details.
A new chapter in the spiritual journey of East Central Guadalcanal has begun. Earlier this month, the Catholic Church officially launched the Our Lady of Hope parish in Colabora, marking a significant milestone for one of the most remote regions in Guadalcanal province. The historic event saw the attendance of guests including the Archbishop of Honiara, Christopher Cardone, the MP for East Central Guadalcanal, Lazarus Rina, and East Guadalcanal MP, Bradley Tovusia.
Peter Chanel, St. Peter Toro.
Our Lady of Hope is the latest parish under the Catholic Archdiocese of Honiara and is located between the Rovatu and Avu Avu parish. It promises to be more than just a building, but a spiritual home where Catholics in the area can grow in faith, receive sacraments, and take part in the life of the Church. The government, through the Constituency Office, is backing the construction of the church, recognizing the important role of the Church in strengthening communities.
Church play a very important part within our communities, low side, low development. So look access now very important now that church building this new parish. The split over of this parish, Baba help him, especially standard of living low within the communities, low new parish here. Baba boost him up. People even go to church and low side, low Christianity. People below mifala low bush. A church might be second or third priority. I think one very important thing where me look at church do him now is to develop spiritual side below people, below me, below that area.
Communities are being encouraged to work with the Church to develop the parish.
Me appeal normal church and community, especially people Colabora community. This one have a new parish and me like him for people look after it well and me build him. Yeah, church for make sure that this new parish am also supported with the manpower, especially priests or whoever him go, me fala lo community below me, and Baba me fala help out for building and make sure that this parish will be a living example for other parishes. No matter him stay lo bush, by people like for come and join him and worship lo this fala parish.
For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kokutu.
The Geoscience Society of Solomon Islands, GSSI, is calling for the upcoming Mineral Resource Bill 2025 to include a clear requirement that all mineral lab test reports submitted by mining companies must come from recognized laboratories. The society says that in order for a mining company to submit an application for a mining lease, they must provide lab test reports of the minerals, and these reports must be from labs that meet recognized international standards. GSSI emphasized that the lack of a strong technical team within the Ministry of Mines to scrutinize lab results submitted by mining companies has placed the country at a disadvantage over the years, allowing questionable data to go unchecked.
That if we have have a good technical team inside the ministry. They'll have to go through all the reports, the submission during the application of mining lease. Ensure that all the reports must be come from a lab that is recognized. Currently around Papua New Guinea and Solomon Island, the Australian National Lab is the recognized lab. Any result come from Australian lab, stock market them accept them. Current practice of mining companies, a lab lot of San George no more. That will whole assay, me personally as a geologist, but me not believe him. So in order for a company to submit a report for application for mining lease, they have to have a assay results coming from a recognized lab. Even stock market can recognize it. This is the downfall we have now, because the technical team doesn't know how to look into these reports in detail. Me look through the Sumitomo tenement D in Isabel, the cobalt is very small. So me believe that whatever I'm out from Isabel, that wala, bahem no affected too much. But me say him no economical now, the cobalt. Only nickel no more, me low grade.
GSSI, while acknowledging that private mining companies may have their own in-house labs, insists that the requirement to have samples tested and verified by independent, recognized lab must be clearly stated in the bill to ensure proper quality control and transparency.
Private companies, what about required to have their own laboratories here?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, for do more testing blood samples blood. But the thing is, they're also required for send them what samples blood. Some of them send them overseas for check them na. Or samples, normal company practice no more that one. Now, you know disregarding mo say. Him strange for garam lab, him normal something no for companies for garam lab, but the quality control must must send them other samples go to certified labs for check him now what the results. Then both have a quality what the results normal practice or same.
The society adds that this requirement is necessary to strengthen confidence in the country's resource assessments. Now, the Solomon Islands Council of Trade Unions has acknowledged the historic Ocean of Peace Declaration recently endorsed by Pacific Island Forum leaders. A statement by the Council recognizes the significant commitment to preserving the Blue Pacific continent as a region of peace, security and cooperation, free from geopolitical tensions and militarization. While the Council applauds the initiative, they are also concerned about the absence of specific protections and recognition of maritime and fishery workers.
Yeah, we appreciate the steps and processes that are taken, but at the same time, we feel that the fact that some of us were complaining, meaning that the consultation was not broad enough, because me here and the sponsor, Fiji, or talk about him, or it takes them quite some time for what to come up now within the whole documentation about this for Ocean of Peace initiative. Yeah? But me feel that the workers were left out here, and that clearly shows that the union who represent workers were not part of the consultation. That's basically is from our side. I'm not sure about PIC2, Pacific Island Council of Trade Union, whether Fiji was involved, but here also no.
Tuanuku adds local maritime workers also face a range of challenges while on the job.
Well, working hours is one, mental stress, these are statistics. Remuneration issue, exploitation by recruiting agents of fishermen and maritime workers, shortage of food, water, medicine, float in the peace ocean for too long, physical abuse. There's so many bad experiences that all the workmen see as fishermen, as maritime workers, as whatever else they do, lots both here. All the experiencing, man. That's why me fella complain a little bit, because me fella think that while you may get a broader agenda for declaring Pacific Ocean a peace ocean, you may also have to look him now that the man float inside there, get in peace too.
The recognition of seafarers and fishermen in regional and national frameworks is vital to sustainable resource management and ensuring workers' safety and rights.
Well, it's very important because it means improved legislation, cross-border law enforcement cooperation, strong monitoring on both national and cross-border activities. And so the bottom line is Oceania. You may talk about Oceania and you may come up with different reasons as to why you may like put declaring peace. It relates to the bilateral understanding to some other treaties or things like this. But what man float lo Oceania na ota fisherman and ota maritime workers there. That's why meeting that while ota entertaining ota broader regional agendas, they also have to see that there is a collective responsibility of the regional government or each government can see how now about able to bring peace to the workers who are also affected by this policy of peace here.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.